In the shadowy depths of our human ancestry, there exists a dark and unsettling chapter, one that forces us to confront a chilling question. Were our ancient relatives cannibals? Today, we journey into the distant past to uncover the grisly evidence of a human species that not only walked the earth, but feasted on its own kind. This is not fiction. This is archaeology, anthropology, and brutal reality. This is the story of Homo, Antecessor, the human species that ate other humans. Discovered in the Atapuerca Mountains of northern Spain, in a cave known as Gran Dolina, the remains of Homo Antecessor first came to light in the 1990s, dated to around 800,000 years ago. These bones didn't just reshape the human family tree, they told a gruesome tale of survival. The bones, mostly from children and young adults, showed clear signs of butchering, cut marks, crushing, breakage consistent with marrow extraction. To the trained eye of a forensic anthropologist, these were not animal chew marks or the result of natural decay. They were made by stone tools, controlled, precise, and deliberate, the same techniques used to prepare animal meat. But these weren't gazelles or deer. These were humans, carved up, dismembered, and consumed. The evidence at Gran Dolina is some of the earliest direct proof of cannibalism in the human lineage. What's shocking is that it wasn't ritualistic. It was practical. These people were eating others simply to survive. So who were Homo Antecessor, standing around 5.5 to 6 feet tall, with a mix of primitive and modern features? They were one of the earliest known hominins in Europe. They used stone tools, hunted in groups, and had an understanding of cooperation and violence. What made them turn to cannibalism? Was it desperation, scarcity, territorial dominance? Europe, at the time, was no paradise. Shifting climates, limited prey, and competing groups made survival brutal. In such a harsh world, meat was meat, and when strangers, or even tribe members, died or were killed, their flesh became a resource. This wasn't about cruelty, it was about calories. Nutritional cannibalism, we call it. It's a stark reminder that our ancestors lived on a knife's edge. Cannibalism didn't stop with Homo Antecessor. Traces of it echo through other species. Neanderthals, Homo heidelbergensis, and even Homo sapiens show signs of similar behavior. In caves from France to Croatia, bones tell tales of survival that pushed early humans to their limits. Our own species, in its darkest hours, has turned to the same practice: famines, sieges, shipwrecks, proof that the instinct to eat in order to survive can override every moral boundary. The story of cannibalism does not remain confined to prehistory. Even in modern times, when laws, societies, and ethics are firmly established, humans have been driven to eat each other. One of the most infamous examples is the 1972 crash of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 in the Andes. Stranded in the mountains, with no food and dwindling hope, survivors of the crash made a harrowing choice: to eat the bodies of the deceased in order to stay alive. The world was shocked when the story emerged, but most understood it was survival. Then there's the case of the Donner Party in the 1840s, a group of American pioneers trapped by snow in the Sierra Nevada. Facing starvation, some resorted to cannibalism. These events are deeply unsettling, yet they mirror the choices our ancestors likely faced thousands of years ago. And beyond survival, darker instances have emerged: ritualistic cannibalism among isolated tribes, criminal cases like that of Armin Mayus in Germany, who consensually killed and consumed a man in the early 2000s. These are extreme and rare, but they reveal that the shadow of cannibalism still lingers within our species. But what drives a species, especially one with social bonds and emotional intelligence, to consume its own kind? To answer this, we must go beyond archaeology and into the realm of psychology and anthropology. At the core of this behavior lies a primal truth: survival has always been the ultimate motivator. From an evolutionary standpoint, early humans were not just hunters, they were opportunists. When resources were scarce and danger loomed, nothing was off the table, not even other humans. Dr. Karen Halsey, evolutionary psychologist, says in one of his interview clips. We often like to think of ancient humans as less intelligent or less emotional than us, but that's not entirely true. They likely had familial bonds, empathy, maybe even a rudimentary moral code. But when starvation set in, those systems were overridden by biology. The brain prioritizes survival above all else. This primal override, the shutting down of higher moral reasoning in times of extreme crisis, is not just an ancient trait. It persists even today. Neurological studies have shown that under extreme stress or trauma, the human brain reverts to a more instinctual mode. Moral frameworks, so crucial to society, become secondary. This helps explain why acts like cannibalism occur even in the modern era, despite being universally condemned. In times of siege, like the infamous siege of Leningrad during World War II, cannibalism became disturbingly common. Entire families died of hunger. Others, faced with unspeakable choices, crossed a line most of us cannot imagine. And yet, these moments are often met with sympathy, not horror. Why? Because deep down, we recognize something terrifying. Under similar circumstances, we might have done the same. Cannibalism, in this light, is not just an act of horror. It's a mirror, reflecting the extremes of our species' will to survive. But survival is not the only reason humans have eaten other humans. In certain cultures, throughout history, cannibalism was practiced as ritual. In the four people of Papua New Guinea, for example, endocannibalism, eating the flesh of deceased relatives, was believed to honor the dead and preserve their spirit. Yet this practice led to a devastating outbreak of kuru, a prion disease similar to mad cow disease. Scientists studying the four's tragic fate learned just how dangerous consuming human tissue can be. This led to one of the most shocking scientific discoveries, that cannibalism isn't just a moral issue, it's a biological one. Our brains, when consumed, can transmit fatal proteins that destroy the central nervous system. Thus, in our very biology, nature may have placed a failsafe, an evolutionary punishment for engaging in this taboo act. Not just disgust or shame, but disease. And so, the tale of human cannibalism spans every realm: survival, ritual, science, psychology, disease. It reveals how our species has balanced on the edge between necessity and morality, how we have risen above our basest instincts, but never fully shed them. Even today, the word cannibal provokes horror, and yet, behind that horror lies a deep, unspoken understanding. It is part of us, buried, denied, but real. Cannibalism is not the story of monsters. It is the story of humans, ancient and modern, pushed to their limits. To know it is not to embrace it, but to understand it. To remember that behind every moral code lies a history of choices, some noble, others necessary, and a few utterly unimaginable.